What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever had a frittata before? If not, watch this video and I will show you how I make it. Start off by cutting up some mozzarella. You're just gonna kind of cube up about 8 to 10 pieces of this. Go ahead and dice up about half of a yellow onion, a package of mushrooms, get those diced up, some spinach, that's about a handful of spinach. I cut it up just for the cooking process. This is 8 strips of hickory smoked bacon. And here you only need 1 Idaho potato for the hash browns. I did 3 just so I had some extra. Technically this is a cheese grater, but it works just well on potatoes. So dice these up and they're gonna come out pretty damp. I'll show you what I do with them after that. This is what they're gonna look like after they're diced up. Then while the cheese grater's out, I'm gonna go ahead and dice up some Parmesan. You don't have to use fresh Parmesan. If you wanna just buy pre-shredded, that's perfectly fine. Take the hash browns that you made out of the cheese grater, put them on a napkin, and then put a napkin on top, press down, and you want to pull as much moisture as you can out of these. You won't necessarily need to do this if you buy frozen. You just got to let them thaw out. But since we cut fresh, you're going to want to do this so that they crisp up right when you cook them. Now for the eggs, I like to do 2 things. This is optional. I like the way it tastes and I like the consistency. This is 4 ounces of softened cream cheese and a cup of heavy cream, and I blend it. You can whisk it if you want. Blending it, you want it to be very, very smooth and not chunky. Take 8 eggs and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna whisk those up until they are smooth, then combine both of them. Don't do them all at the same time or you're gonna have chunks in there that will never come out with the cream cheese. I find that if you do them separately and then combine, it makes it really, really smooth. That's what it should look like. You want it to be really smooth. You don't want it to be chunky. All right, onto the griddle. We're gonna brown up our bacon. So if you don't have a griddle, just use a cast iron pan, however you usually cook bacon. I like using my cast iron for this reason. I like to take the bacon grease and some of the bacon and put it in the pan so that I get some of the grease out of the bacon. That's gonna help the frittata not stick to the bottom when we go to take it out. You'll see that later and how easily I pull a slice out. It's kind of nice. Eggs on a cast iron pan can be a nightmare sometimes. This is well seasoned and the grease is gonna help a lot. Once they're browned up, you're gonna pull those off the griddle, set them to the side, and now we're gonna cook our hash browns. The main thing with hash browns, get them set, get them flattened out, and then once they're kind of flattened out like you like them, leave them and let them brown up before you flip them. These have been cooking for probably 5 minutes and they browned up. I'm gonna start flipping them over and start cooking the other side. But that's the main thing with hash browns. Make sure you leave them. Once they're browned up, you wanna kind of cut them up. You don't want a big hash brown because we're gonna take little pieces of this and put it in our frittata. Kind of separate it out, dice it up as best you can, and then I'm gonna season it with some Kinders. This is the blend. It's just salt, pepper, and garlic, maybe a tablespoon or so. Also, I should mention, I'm not using all 3 potatoes in this recipe. I'm probably gonna use 1. I have the other just to have some extra for myself for later. That's what it ought to look like. Next up, we're gonna re-oil the pan and we're gonna cook our vegetables. Oil, a little butter, and then we're gonna throw our onion on. We're gonna throw our chopped mushroom on, and we're gonna cook those and combine those first. Kind of let them, brown up and saute them, however you wanna say it. Just cook them through a little bit, add a little more butter. After you get them cooked a little bit, I'm not throwing any garlic or anything, just the butter. Add the spinach after that, combine it really well. It'll reduce down to about this much. What you're gonna see is I'm only gonna put half of the veggies into the frittata. So half of it will have veggies in it and half of it will just have bacon, egg, cheese, and some hash brown. This is how I put it all together. So I always put in the eggs first. There's still a little bacon grease in the bottom. You can put a little spray down there too if you want to, but this is a well-oiled pan. Bacon after that, you're just gonna kind of sprinkle them on there, and this is what it'll look like after you have all the bacon on. That's 8 pieces. Okay, then I'm gonna start adding in little pieces of a hash brown. That's why you don't want big hash brown. You're just gonna add little pieces. That's probably 1 potato's worth of hash brown. I like a little fresh ground black pepper on there as well, maybe a teaspoon. And then here's the veggies. I'm just adding them to 1/2. So the handle side will be my veggie side. The other side will be normal. Then these are those little mozzarella pieces. So I stick them in there like little cheese bombs. So whenever it cooks through, you'll have these just little spots throughout the frittata that'll just have a big melty piece of cheese. It tastes really good. I use a spatula and just kind of push them down, and then you're gonna throw them in the oven. The oven's gonna be 350 degrees. This is gonna cook for about 30 minutes. While that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and make our sausage gravy. This is a 3-ingredient sausage gravy, and it is gluten-free, if that interests you. And I would almost prefer this over any other sausage gravy. It actually tastes really good. If you've never done it, do it. This is 1 pound of breakfast sausage, 4 ounces of very, very softened cream cheese. You're gonna add that in, stir it in, and get it really well incorporated into the meat. The cream cheese is gonna act as your thickener for the gravy, and it works great. Once it gets to this consistency, I add about half a cup, give or take, of heavy cream, and then I'm gonna stir that up. Let the heavy cream simmer. I've had this on medium to medium high heat. I reduce it to medium here, and I'm gonna let that thicken up. This is just a little salt and pepper that I'm gonna add to it as well. Maybe a teaspoon of each, not much. I added just a splash more heavy cream, so in the end, it was probably 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. Once that thickens up, you're gonna pull it off and set it to the side. At 15 minutes, add some of that shredded Parmesan to the top, close it back up. 15 minutes later, it ought to look like this. It'll be nice and bubbly. It's not brown or burnt. All right, I'm gonna show you how easy it is to pull one of these pieces out. Now, this has been cooking 30 minutes on the cast iron. I got a spatula, and it came right out, no problem. Didn't stick at all. So that's why I like to keep a little bacon grease on the bottom. I'm gonna add a little bit of my sausage gravy to the top of that, a couple of little dollops on there. I'm telling you, if you've not tried this sausage gravy, try it. It's worth it. It's so easy to make, and it's gluten-free. You already know I'm gonna go in for a bite. This tasted fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the best frittatas I've ever made. Hope you liked the video. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.